Thank you, sir.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. How? Because according to blackhistory.com, we didn't start at the bottom. We started at the top. Alfonso I, 1506 to 1540, the first African king. Idris Amana, 1587 to 1617. Hannibal, 247 to 183 BC. So in all of that, what did you hear about? Because as black people, we started at the top. We started as kings and queens, but now we're here. So yeah, Drake, you made a little noise about your song, but put yourself in my shoes. Imagine walking down the street and someone crosses the street just because you're a black man. Imagine you walking down the street and a police officer stops you and frisks you just because you're a black man. Just because you are dressed in the latest trends, just because your pants hang a little low. They want to stop you because you're a black man. Come on, black man, we gotta do better. On Tuesday, we had 3 presenters to talk about deadbeat parents. We had them to talk about baby daddies versus a real man. Are you a baby's daddy or are you a real man? But we'll touch on that later. According to what black men think, black men in prison, 824,304. People in college, 1,444,979. Now, 2 years ago, there was a statistic that came out, and it said that there are more black people incarcerated than there are in jail. Now, this went all the way to CNN, this made the Huffington Post, this made Wall Street Journal, but they never checked their facts. So on that fact sheet, it said 2003 more black men were incarcerated than those that are in college. But when the fact checkers and everyone that actually does statistics went and saw that there were only 824,340 men incarcerated versus 1,444,979. And that's a big number, but that's 2 commas and 7 numbers. Music videos. Now, if you look at music videos, I'm not sure if anybody's heard of this, but if you take a music video and every time you hear nigga, flip it. Put it to the back, to the bottom. So you have S-A-G-G-I-N, not being grammatically correct, but if you flip that, you hear N-I-G-G-A-S. Now, last presentation we had niggas. Now, sagging spelled backwards spells niggas. So from its conception of the word niggas, we were always supposed to be inferior to the white man. Now, also in music videos, you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, well, if I just sell a little crack, sling a little dope, hey, maybe I'll make money. Which influences our young black men from an early age that all I have to do is go on the corner where I saw my uncle and maybe I'll make a little money. Now, violence in videos, it's not as bad, but all they show is, if you think about it, 20 years ago, you had Tupac and Biggie going back and forth. You had East Coast and West Coast, back and forth. And all you saw were men just trying to kill each other. What kind of example is that showing? Now, no one ever showed a black man going to get his PhD degree from Yale or going to get his doctorate from somewhere else. But we're always seeing some man being on the police screen or being in the back of someone's police car. Now, black men, like I said at the beginning, we started as kings, so how do we end up here? According to the Health Daily, among other effects, verbal abuse can determine the child's self-esteem, damage his ability to trust and form a relationship, and chip away at academic and social skills. In fact, current research shows that verbal abuse of children can be just as destructive emotionally as physically as sexual abuse and put them at much risk. Now, most black men, they always say, when they were growing up, hey, my daddy talked down to me. He said I ain't never gonna be nothing. My uncle said that I wasn't gonna be nothing but another image of my daddy. Your grandma might have said, your daddy did it, so I'm guessing you're gonna do it. But as my friend Desiree said, if you ever went to church, you can break that cycle. And black men, I'm here to tell you, you can break that cycle. But that's just gonna be on you to break that cycle. A lot of people said, stop acting white. You always acting white just because you like to dress nice. Your shirt's tucked in, you have on a tie. But am I supposed to sag my pants? And am I supposed to be in the back of a police car? Am I supposed to be incarcerated because I'm a black man? No. That doesn't make you being white. That makes you want to be something of yourself. That makes you want to be successful. If you're not successful, what are you going to do? What can you do? What will you be? Standing out. Don't be afraid to stand out. And go get your education. What's the problem with going to get your education? If you don't get an education, you'll be more likely to be in a fast food restaurant serving me fries while I drive through because I wanted to act white. So I mean, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do I want to be flipping burgers or do I want to actually go through and get my burger? But that's your position. That's if you want to. Hold up. Moving on to my last point, baby daddy versus father. A baby daddy is a person that conceives a child. Don't get me wrong. There's a huge difference between a man and a boy. There's a huge difference between a father and a baby's daddy. A baby daddy, according to Rather for Raw blog post, cannot be there to shelter their child or nurture for their child. If you just have the baby and then say, oh, well, that ain't my child, that ain't my kid, I ain't got to take care of him, my daddy ain't take care of me, what are you doing for that child? How are you going to be there to influence that child? How can, not to bash the women, but how can a woman teach a man how to hold himself while he's at the urinal? Who's going to be able to show a man how to tie their tie? Who's going to be there to show a man not to hit a woman? Who's going to be there for that child that you brought into this world in your 5 minutes of erection? Who's going to be there for that child? You brought the child here, so why not take care of that child?
You better preach it, little Tommy.
Building a relationship beyond child support. A child should never know you by my child support giver. If that is their name or that's what they know you as, you might as well just wrap it up and not save that child from coming here. If you can only see that child once a month because you have to give them a child support check or you have to be forced by the courts only to come see your child once a month, why did you have a child? Black men, we gotta do that. In closing, I just want to leave you with a Bible verse. Genesis 1:27. And this is at the beginning of the Bible. You can't go no further, you can't go no behind. In Genesis, that's where it started. So God created man in his own image. In his own image. When did God leave you? When did he leave you? You woke up this morning, he was there. You went to sleep, he was there. You thought about taking a nap during class, he was there. That's not even the whole verse. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created himself. Man and female, he created them. Ephesians on down in the Bible, it says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger. Now, according to Help the Daily, it says if you are not there for your child, they are more likely to commit suicide. They are more likely to be incarcerated. They are more likely to do things that you did because they didn't see anyone there for them. So if they're not there, who are they going to know? In conclusion, I have a picture, and I'll pass it around to both ends. It says, when they took us seriously, and why they don't now. Because as a black man, don't let Drake confuse you. We started at the top, but now we're at the bottom.